Oh, you know what? One of these rot maxing influencers came on my feed the other day, and I got like, I was almost fascinated. I was disgusted by it. I was absolutely grossed out. I was like, how can somebody live like this? And apparently, I don't know, they're famous. It's like
Morning,
Asian.
welcome back.
It's Asian Asmongold, guys. It's Asian Asmongold. This guy makes a lot of funny videos on like weird TikTok trends.
Oh, I tired. You ever want to lay down all day while consuming as much entertainment as possible so you can distract yourself from life? Like some
Yeah,
sort of
but I never have the time to do that anymore.
weird human baby? Or a human turned into a worm. It's way easier to do nothing compared to dealing with all your grown-up responsibilities. No one told me about taxes, bills every month,
Don't remind
the
me.
tedious task
I
of
need to do my
thinking of what
taxes.
to eat every single day for the rest of my life. Sheesh, can't a guy just be a baby again? Unfortunately, that's not a possibility for the majority of us until we can figure out how to Benjamin Button ourselves. So the next best thing is bed rotting, eh? We're told that if we embrace hustle culture, work really hard, then we can achieve our dreams. The amount of effort you put into your career, the more well off you'll be during
It's too
retirement
much
age.
work, guys. It's too much work. All these things. Waking up. First of all, waking up is already hard. Why is it so difficult to go to sleep at night, but so hard to wake up in the morning? Somebody tell me. And then freaking go exercise and work out. Ugh.
Your future is created by what you do today, said the president of some country. So why me have graduate
I have an
degree, but
accountant.
work as barista with no house or car?
No, this is Patrick.
Well, that's kind of the reality we live in now. The American dream has literally turned into something you can only see when you're dreaming. No matter how many hours you put into
Very true. That's like getting into the shower thing. It's hard to get into the shower, but once you're in the shower, it's hard to get out.
your career, how much you invest into your education, which ends up being a piece of paper and bank account jump scare. Unless you're born wealthy or with a little bit of nepotism on your side, life's just one long slugfest of working until you're old and then
Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of soul crushing.
Which is why I think there's one thing. Well, there's more than one thing. I know I always make fun of Gen Z, but there are some things that I like. This anti or this return to, no, we're not gonna participate in the grind. So we're not gonna just like give our life away to a corporation that's gonna lay us off after 30 years that we've been working there. And the new generations, they want to get the most out of life as they can. And they want to strike a work-life balance because during the pandemic, everybody lost their job and everybody learned from that.
Taking the entire day off from time to time to rest and not think about 1,000 things at once helps us avoid burning out. The best feeling is working really hard, then taking 1 to 2 days off with your brain turned off to do nothing. Although bed rotting is a trendy activity we've been seeing that goes further than
What's
a day of
bed rotting?
self-care. You're in your room,
Oh, he's gonna explain
laying
it.
in bed all day, except you're not sleeping, but doing passive activities to avoid life,
Dude!
like scrolling on your
I want to get back to that time. That was the best time of my life. I could do that. Dude, I used to watch Netflix all day. Now I feel guilty if I do that. I feel guilty. Basically depression? Maybe, but you know what? Back in the medieval times, I'm gonna take out my medieval situation. Back in the medieval time, we had these things called bards and poets, and all they did as a job was lay around and think and dream all day.
phone, watching movies, counting the pores on the ceiling. Think of it as stress-inducing procrastination, where instead of relaxing at a spa, you're closing your eyes so you don't notice that the building is actually on fire. You can find a lot of
It's
content
a good way of
from Gen Z
describing
and
it too.
millennials sharing their bed rotting experiences, either for clout and views since it's trendy to do so, or to connect
Oh.
with others who are going through
Ugh.
something similar. There's been a shift in the public sentiment from this being a quirky activity to this isn't good. It depends on the severity. A little bit of bed rotting can just be someone taking time off, but extreme levels can be linked with someone who's mentally unwell. Especially when you see rooms that don't have
Ew.
floors anymore because it's covered with so much junk, and the bowls and dishes with old food in them started making their own clothes to wear.
Bed rotting is a trend where you just kind of enjoy the time that you have in your bed.
You can see this person right here on TikTok who made a video about their trend. They have cups laying around their room just filled with mold because they're just bed rotting. All of these cups, Chick-fil-A containers, all of this stuff has just been piling up because all they do is lay in their bed all day.
Dude, their bacteria immunity must be off the charts though. These people will never get sick.
Shouldn't eat mold, but why it look like I kind of want to eat it? We shouldn't be glamorizing this behavior.
No.
Focus on curbing it instead by sharing tips or showing our progress when we finally
Okay, I
decide
feel
to
better at all the times I've been lazy now because I never made things get that far.
rooms.
Here's what you're gonna do if you've already rotted half the day away and you kind of regret it.
So that was a little taste of bed rotting in the West. Now in Asia, this isn't just a concerning phase anymore. A few cups with moldy drink in them is nothing compared to the DIY hill you made in your own home. Trash.
DIY hill out of trash that you made in your... What? Holy shit, dude. Just take out the trash.
I like sledding on a fluffy white hill as much as the next person, but this seems like a biohazard. There are two content creators from Japan that kept popping up on my timeline who have quite the interesting following. The first one is Haritsu, an Indonesian college dropout living in Japan, who's known for cooking food that is well beyond its expiration date, eating it, and somehow surviving. And we're not talking about a yogurt that's a few days past its best before date. I saw this man take Resident Evil looking rice from underneath the sink, give it a bath, then make it into a
Resident Evil looking rice, he said. Dude, he's so funny, this guy.
a somewhat decent looking dish.
Dude, he's... Okay, his floor is not that dirty. What is this egg?
You would have never known how old and how unrefrigerated his ingredients were. This is a health inspector's nightmare. If they went inside his house, they would cry, fail him, and then shut down the kitchen. This isn't even a restaurant. At least he's not wasteful. The second creator is Shiro Kumatyan.
Oh, that's the one I saw. That's the one I found. And she had legit cockroaches everywhere. Is that the one where the cockroaches are on the wall? I don't know, but I remember that she didn't even have any room to, like, she was cutting all the vegetables on top of the pan because she has no room on the counter to cut anything.
Who's infamous for living in a home covered in trash while sharing this small space with a lot of roommates. Sure, times are tough and we gotta do what we gotta do, but it's like more than a reasonable amount of people. Between all of them, there's at least 1,000 legs, 1,000 arms, bugs. Her roommates are bugs.
マジで無理なんだけど。
Gross.
大きすぎ、でかすぎ、やばすぎ共和国。大きすぎ共和国、でかすぎ共和国、やばすぎ共和国。
Damn, if all these uninvited guests showed up in my home, I would have to put on a full production of Stomp, or at least a K-pop fan
I
cam
don't know
for
how you
Minky
get-
Yayo.
Gee.
No fear of cockroaches is actually a pretty impressive skill to have. Japan has this lady, we have Asmongold, who's reacted to some of my videos. I kind of feel like that roach that was in his house.
Get him out of me! What are you doing, bro? Get out of my...
But wow, those moldy cups are basically a cute little garnish compared to living with 5,000 freeloading roommates that don't pay rent. At least they don't take up a lot of room because they sleep on the walls. That being said, I'm not 100% sure if this content is made by people who are actually going through something or if it's manufactured for engagement and views.
Yes.
We'll look into how all these topics tie in with each other. Why is this
Yes.
letting your living space turn into a
I'm also wondering that. And how can you get it that far? How can you let it go that far?
landfill phenomenon so much more severe in Asia? Well, let's talk about their work culture and how intense it can be compared to our silly little corporate errands and elite employee.
Like, if your building has cockroaches, they'll get into every apartment at one point, though. It doesn't matter if it's on another floor or something. They will literally get everywhere. That's something the landlord needs to tackle right away. And they need to warn every single every single like tenant, because if you leave food around, it's drover. It's drover.
Bosses. In China, the belief is that the harder you work, the more will pay off. You put in 40 years of working really hard, and the fruits of your labor should show that, which was true many decades ago when the economy was thriving. There wasn't as much competition in the market. You could buy home, car, purse, family, working the same job for your entire life. Now, you'd be lucky to even afford one of these things. The 996 culture became a normal way of living, where you work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Putting in your 40 hours a week is child's play compared to this. You're expected to live this way if you want to be successful.
He's talking about Japan work culture being 996. When I talked about that in my video, and I said they also had that culture in Japan, people were like, don't use ChatGPT to make your videos, darling. You know when they call you sweetie to be condescending? I got a few comments like that. And I was like, I didn't use ChatGPT. I got this from an article. And it's more prevalent in the Chinese market. But there's definitely some of that mentality in Japan too.
Successful. If you don't want to conform though, that's totally fine. Someone else that's younger and less tired will take your place in a heartbeat. The Asian workforce is so competitive. Companies even encourage their employees to reveal their punch-in hours like a badge of honor. Whoever's the most overworked gets the praise. If you're working the minimum amount of hours required while having a healthy work-life balance, boo! Well, putting in overtime here. What are you doing? This
That's
expectation
sad.
that you need to dedicate your entire life to work.
Yeah,
for,
9 to 9.
mediocre
9 to 9, yeah, 12-hour shift. We watched a documentary on the chaebols the other day. I'm glad that some people in the comments enjoyed the video and were touched by it. I like to watch more videos like that in the future. The work culture is rough. Yeah, if we think it's rough here, oh my god, in Asia, it's like you have to get into Samsung. Like here, you know, people study all their lives to get into the big Ivy League university. There, in the three big enterprise, like corporations, Samsung, and I don't remember the other two. There was a car one and a telecom one.
life is causing your generations to realize, bruh, this sucks. It's like watching the starry-eyed graduate who's excited to join the workforce turn into the bitter, jaded employee who's ready to retire in the span of 5 years.
It's not that rough here. It's what productivity continued to climb while compensations nearly flatlined in the 1980s. True. Yeah, that's a good point. We're just squeezing people more, but the compensations haven't really gone up with the productivity level we're asking from people.
Instead of 50 years. You know what you get after working 50 years for a company nowadays? An email.
50 years. 7-Eleven.
See, yeah.
In 2022, a term called Bailan started trending in Chinese online gaming communities, which translates to laying flat and lowering one's goals. Basically saying, no thanks, I think I'll pass on this crazy work lifestyle. There's a lot of talented, hardworking people out there who want to make their career the main focus of their lives. But not everyone has to live like that, right? What's the point in working so hard if we're gonna stress ourselves out until we develop health issues? We're still gonna be scraping the bottom of the barrel while the rich get even richer. So doing just enough to get by might be a better option for some, and there's less risk of getting burnt out. Basically, keep your expectations low for everything you do in life. Japan also has a similar working culture. It's based on intense commitment, ethics, and extreme dedication to the company you're working for. If you're just starting out in the workforce, they have a strict hierarchy system you need to follow. If the boss says, put on a furry suit and start serving your country, then you better start learning that K-pop
That
choreo
looks so fun. Why don't we have that here?
ASAP. Also, think I'm going through a phase right now. There have been one too many furry references in my videos recently. To show that you're a team player by
I like his
drinking
sweater,
with your
by the
coworkers
way.
every night. How does that show you're a team player? Well, it's all about tradition and conformity. If you're the only one who goes home, boo! And forget about sleep, you might be able to sneak in a quick nap on the subway ride home before you need to.
There was a clip from Luna from Hololive talking about that she couldn't. There's this culture, this work culture in Japan that you could take your paid vacation leave, or not even the non-paid one too. You could take them, but everybody's too ashamed to take it because if you go on your vacation, even though you're entitled to taking those days off, everybody kind of looks like at you like, oh, so we're gonna stay here and work while you enjoy yourself. You know, you're not very team committed.
To show up for your next shift, but Hey, that's the culture. Did I also mention Japan has the highest levels of working hours in the world, where employees can average 80 hours of unpaid overtime per month? The anime Zom 100 does a really great job at showcasing this lifestyle in their first episode. All this pressure from work, school, and family to fit into your expected societal role, you can see why this bleak overview of the future is causing younger generations to be discouraged, which has given rise to people adopting a neat lifestyle. Not as in a clean person, but as a not in education, employment, or training person. There's no long-term goals here, just surviving through each day by doing the bare minimum. As long as you have food, housing, and entertainment, then you're solid. A more intense form of the neat lifestyle is a hikikomori, which is
That's us. That's literally us, chat.
word that translates to pulling inward, being confined. This is where you withdraw yourself from society, where you basically never leave your home. Described as loners or modern day hermits. It usually consists of people in their 20s to late 30s who are still living with their parents and rely on their support.
In Japan, there's said to be at least 500,000 hikikomori.
But I took out my garbage trash yesterday. I had 2 bags to take out. I was a little overdue, but hey, I don't let it get to more than 2 bags, at least.
It's thought that the numbers could be double that because so many of them go uncounted. Most are men 15 to 39. Some experts believe that it's a condition caused by traumatic
The box mousepad though.
experiences of shame or grief.
Could the pressures of Asian societies be the root cause of these content creators posting their strange lifestyles online? Maybe. That's just a theory. A moldy rice cooker theory. Speaking of food that would definitely shave off years of a regular person's life, either this guy has the strongest immune system in the world, or the soap he uses to wash his food can eliminate every single disease on the planet. He's known for taking rice that's half food, half a living organism, and turning it back to normal by giving it a bath.
How? He censored it? Dude, he censored it because he was probably getting flagged by YouTube.
何これ普通にこのまま食えそううわあ綺麗綺麗ですね
Ew!
なんかこれでもうまそうはい完成うまそう
Other than committing multiple health code violations, he's a pretty decent cook. It's no Michelin star.
Other than committing health code violations. Dude, putting that much soap in your rice, isn't that toxic? Like, maybe it's a kind of soap that you can eat or something. Maybe it's a biological soap. I don't know, dude. I don't know. And I grew up in a household where, like, my dad bought way too much food every time. And he kept the food a little too long, let's just say that. So, like, we didn't eat moldy stuff, but, like, we'd eat things past the expiry date from a couple days. Or, you know, we'd eat stuff that's, like, a few people would think is sussy. We stretched that line a little bit, so... But this is something else, dude.
Our meal, but watching him turn expired food into a edible-ish... I was curious after watching so many of his TikToks. Can you actually wash away mold from your food, eat it, and not get sick? Sources say it depends, but usually, no! What's even more interesting is that he's never gotten sick from doing this. Do you ever get sick? I never get sick. Even I find it hard to believe that I've never even had diarrhea because of the food I eat. Especially during my first year on TikTok. I was not that popular, so all I could afford to eat was the rotten food. But yeah, I think I am freakishly healthier than normal people. Or maybe I'm just used to it by now. Damn. I should have eaten more dirt when I was a kid. He microdosed himself on so much bacteria that he's turned into a walking cold effects pill. Look at him, not believing in storage containers, utensils, and proper cooking services.
What is this? Don't tell me it's a chicken. That was dough?
完璧よしこれ一旦どかしましょう
Yo, don't try.
Just a little seasoning from the bed for some flavor. I know the microwave has a built-in plate. But you got a regular plate right there. I'm also showing the least scary parts of his TikToks.
He's using the microwave built-in plate. You hate this commentary? I like his commentary. It's so funny.
Some of the food he scrunches up looks like it came from a nightmare. Okay, if you don't think about what these ingredients look like before, he made a slightly upgraded Lunchable pizza.
That doesn't look that bad, not gonna lie. After
doing this for some time, he's built up a cult following that's let him move into a bigger and cleaner living space. This is a literal rags and mold to riches story. How do you feel about your content now? I started TikTok at the rock bottom of my life. That time, I felt like I couldn't do anything right. Like my life was just going to be a waste. But I'm glad I started my TikTok in Japan. People are warm there and they supported my content from the very beginning. Now I have more friends and I am happy in my life. Do you wish to continue making these videos? Yeah, because this is my brand now. And I like doing it. Not just for the content, but because I genuinely like it. Even now when I can afford nice food, I still wish to continue eating rotten food. Anyways, a comb as a spoon is wild. We have a strange fascination
No
with
way,
observing
use
people
the
at the
comb
worst
as a
and then rooting for them
spoon.
to get better. The other content creator who I mentioned, who is also in a similar living situation as Haritsu, also has a comb. Here's her reviewing which type of flour is the best type of dry shampoo for unwashed hair.
Yeah, so, oh, that's the TikToker I saw, and she didn't wash her hair for like 2 months, I think.
このお友達で、Let's 検証タイム。米粉、なんかね、お米って万能なイメージがあるんだよ。串につけた。
Oh, she puts like baby powder so it doesn't look greasy. What? Allegraza, shut up.
すごい、お米の力。
I will say, she's definitely a better cook compared to the previous jump
My
scares we
dream
saw.
woman. Oh, it's flour, it's not baby powder. No, it's not a moldy comb. It's like powder so the hair doesn't get greasy. It doesn't look greasy.
Plus, the ingredients she uses are
I can
not
fix
moldy or
her.
scary looking. Thank God, the bare minimum. This pasta looks pretty appetizing. I would eat it if it was served to me. Although, can I take my food to go? There are one too many cooks in this kitchen, and they keep coming towards my food. It's making me nervous.
Yuck.
夜ご飯第216円だよ。やっぱね、パスタミートソースが一番好きどす。んで、これスーパーの箸だから無用だし。いきます。
Sorry, I couldn't concentrate on my food because I had to keep an eye out for bugs wandering into the pot, which surprisingly didn't even notice the fresh food being cooked right in front of them. They went in every direction that wasn't the food.
Yeah.
Someone said a collab with Haritsu would bring back the bubonic plague, or would it actually create super evolved white blood cells? Her videos are a weird combination of
Yeah, my lifestyle doesn't feel that bad now.
calming and anxiety inducing. It's like if you took a cooking ASMR video and green screened it into a unlivable home.
That's the video I watched.
200円ちょいって高い方だよね。まあでもたまには、2日連続。昨日とで2日連続か。で最後に使うな、これ。もうこれでね、何作るかわかるよね。だからね、ちょっとね、フォロワー10万人達成した記念に、カレー食べたいな。
Ew, the
野菜
wall!
の玉ねぎと人参、お肉、鶏肉。
The wall!
唯一の調味料、カレール。10万人系。これはね、前買ったやつのあまり。
I'm assuming she's used to living like this. There's not a hint of fear in her voice. And does this pod also have bug-repelling force field properties built into it? What the heck kind of advanced products are Japanese people making? She's also gained a cult following herself, with her TikToks getting millions of views.
4 million views, 3.5 million views.
Audience reaction based on the comments is usually confused, scared, worried, and fascinated, since her demeanor doesn't really match her lifestyle. I think the brand she's going for is a subculture in Japan called Jirai-K, or
There was one comment saying what my parents see when I leave a sock on the floor. Totally. Dude, my mom was military. This guy's trying to create a new pandemic. Wife material.
or landmine style. An aesthetic that combines cute feminine gothic fashion
Yeah,
with
that's
someone who is
Jirai-K.
on the verge of an emotional breakdown. Some people only wear the fashion, while others embrace the entire lifestyle. She even did her own cosplay of landmine style makeup. I think it might be a parody, but I'm not sure.
この格好で
What?
この顔で歩き来た
I don't know what's going on anymore.
After watching a bunch of her content, I'm starting to wonder if this is actually real or some kind of social experiment. I use Google Translate to
don't
read
know.
her bios and captions since it's all in Japanese, so take this broken English with a grain of salt. Concurrent viewership is #1 in Japan. The most entertaining and genius streamer in Japan. Unauthorized reproduction prohibited. Legal action taken. There are even comments questioning if she actually lives in this house. First of all,
Yeah.
how would you even sleep? Second, do bugs need sleep? It's hard to say for sure if this is a cosplay of someone with a really strange lifestyle. If it is, then interesting. You definitely have people curious about the character you're playing, but if she's actually
I believe it. I don't know. I know people have faked worse stuff though. There's a girl that faked like being a poor farmer and and it was all staged. She had a crew and everything, and she was selling organic foods and stuff. But that was all turned out to be fake. I don't know, but I feel like I believe that.
going through something, is the audience that she's building enabling her unhealthy behavior? Or is this just a simulation? Or will this be another moldy rice to riches story? All jokes aside, no one should be thinking this is a lifestyle to strive for. A little bedrotting here and there in moderation is okay as long as you can pick herself up afterwards. These extreme cases of gaining a following by living in a garbage house are rare instances of someone getting famous by showcasing their bizarre lifestyle, when in reality, there are a lot of people struggling like this without the money and fame. It's very fascinating, and I'm seated for some more plot development. Do these people end up cleaning their houses and getting their life together? Also wondering, is this the secret to turning your immune system into an impenetrable fortress? Because how are they still out here looking normal? I'm surprised they're not turning green like a Sims or that green lady from Wicked. They must have plus 100 and poison resistance or something. Spending 5 minutes in any of these houses would have me feeling nausea, heartburn, indigestion,
Anxiety,
stomach, diarrhea. Hey, Pepto-Bismol! You know what else can prevent you from getting sick? The YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed the content to see more of my videos. You'll also get a +2 stat boost against germs, toxins, and the common cold.
Dude,
Disclaimer,
he does everything with his hands.
percentages can vary based on individual experiences. Have a good day, try not to be dumb, and see you in the next one.
Stoicism is changing.
Okay, so everybody clean your houses. I guess this is all gonna be our motivation to clean our houses today.